as I turn it here, it activates that. For the coding, first things first, we want to make sure that we have the Arduino IDE downloaded. We can just go to the Arduino website, accept those cookies, and then find the download button. And once we found that download button, just go here, download it. Actually, I completely lied. Windows 7 or older, then you go online. Otherwise, you actually just download directly from the Windows 10 store. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to open up the Arduino IDE that we just downloaded. Make sure that you have a new sketch opened up. And for this, I'm using a Arduino Uno board, a breadboard, potentiometer, a relay, and a green laser pointer for this demonstration. How to use this potentiometer to unlock something or to use it to control something. So first thing that we're going to do is we're going to actually make a few global variables. Arduino uses C++. First one is I'm going to label pot pin for potentiometer pin, and that is going to be where the potentiometer is located on the board. In my case, it's port A0, which is the analog in. And then we're going to make another variable. That variable is going to be in1. Now this is where my relay switch is at on the board, and so my relay is in port 12. Now once we do that, there's a couple of variables that we need to set up just for data to control our potentiometer. And so we're going to create a variable named val for value, and we're going to set that equal to 0 for now. And then we're going to create two more variables. One we can call thresh min, which is going to be the minimum sensor reading that we want for our potentiometer. So I'll do 200. And then we're going to do thresh max, which is going to be the maximum number of our sensor reading for the potentiometer to work. And I'll do 300. About 100 difference is a good number. Now, of course, if you have a smaller number, it's more accurate. And if you have a bigger number, then people can be less accurate. And once we have those variables declared, we're going to come into our setup, and we're actually going to type in a couple more lines. The first one is going to be serial.begin at port 9600, and so this is the standard port for your serial monitor and the tools. So when you have your board plugged in, you can look at your serial monitor here, and you can see 9600, and so that's the port that we put here. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to do pin mode. So we're going to tell the board what we want this pin to do. For in1 is going to be an output, and that's because we're going to be feeding the relay a signal to tell it to turn on or off. So we're going to do digital write. We're going to have it start out in1 low, and that's going to tell the relay to start out off, so it's not going to be connected at all. And then once we have these variables and lines of code set up, we're going to go into our loop, which is the main body of code. And once we're here, we're going to pretty much establish what we want this sensor to do, what we want the potentiometer to do with the relay and with the green laser. And so first things first, we're going to set our val variable equal to our potentiometer reading. So we're going to do analog read of pot pin. So that's setting our potentiometer equal to the value. Once we do that, we're going to set up a couple if-else statements to tell the sensor what to do when the potentiometer is at a certain rating. And this is where our thresh min, thresh max come into play. So if the value is greater than or equal to thresh min, and then we're going to do two ampersand symbols, which it just means and. So if this first value is true and the second value is true, which is going to be value is less than or equal to thresh max, then we're going to go ahead and we're going to digital write, or we're going to set our relay to a high input, which will activate it. Else, we're going to keep the relay low. In order to do that, we're just going to do digital, right? Then 1 low. All right, super simple. And then we're going to make sure we come out of these brackets, and I'm going to type in monitor. We're going to type in a function here, and then we're going to create that function. So we'll come out of our void loop after we put this function monitor in there. We're going to create this function. So we're going to go void monitor, and within this function, we're actually going to tell our serial monitor what to do. And we're just going to say serial dot print line or ln potentiometer reading. And we're going to do serial dot print line, and then we're going to do value. Okay, so now that we have that, all this code here, we should be set to go. So we'll go ahead and upload this to our board. I'll create a new thing, potentiometer, save that, upload it. Now that we have it uploaded, we can come into our serial monitor, and you can see all of these potentiometer readings are 0, because that is the position of our potentiometer. Now as we turn it, you can see the potentiometer reading goes up. And you see between 200 and 300, the laser goes on. Now, if you don't want these readings to go so fast, all you have to do is come into here, type in delay, and then how long you want it to delay for. So if you want to do a second, you just do delay 1000 milliseconds, and we can upload that to the board. Come into our serial monitor, and then it won't go so fast. I like it when it goes fast. It makes it easier to adjust what readings you actually want, and of course it doesn't read this super fast, so you can easily go past it. It won't activate anything. Once you have your readings established, I would go ahead and comment out this monitor section just by doing 2 forward slashes and re-upload this code to the board for your final product. So once I've done that, you'll see that it only works at that one position where it activates the relay, and that's it. Alright, so this is how you wire everything. As you can see, I have my Arduino Uno here. I have a breadboard because I don't want to make it permanent, but you can solder your wires, do whatever you want. You can see I have my switch to my relay in pin 12, which goes into the N1 port on my relay, which is why I use N1 as the variable in my coding. And then I have my ground and my 5-volt plugs actually plugged into right here on the relay. Now these sidebars, they go vertical. You can see I have my ground and my positive plugged into the relay here, and I have the ground and positive plugged into the left and right ports on my potentiometer. And this middle plug right here, this white one, is actually plugged into my A0 analog in. And then I have a green laser that's just plugged into the relay that gets activated whenever this potentiometer gets turned.